Raiders of the Lost Ark is very much a return to form for Spielberg. If Close Encounters was the film he'd always wanted to make, Raiders was the kind of movie he always wanted to see. Shortly after his little buddy, George Lucas, had made his childhood vision of an adventurous Saturday morning space opera, little movie, you've probably never heard of it, George proposed an idea of adapting another kind of serial, this one about an archaeologist. Raiders is a loving tribute to classic adventure serials. Funny enough, it's actually the last Indiana Jones movie I saw, and probably the one I watched the least growing up. Temple of Doom and Last Crusade I saw on TV a lot growing up, and after seeing those two first, I wasn't actually as impressed with this one. And to be fair, a lot of stuff in Last Crusade is sort of carried over from Raiders. I didn't dislike Raiders or anything, I just didn't know it as inside and out as the other two. And obviously now that I'm older, I like this movie a lot. In fact, the thing I like about the first one in particular is that there are no dull moments. This movie moves. It just goes from classic set piece to classic set piece. Don't go to the bathroom, because you'll miss that cool scene. Oh, and what about this cool scene? And this? Nice. George Lucas was reluctant to hire Harrison Ford at first, because he had already been in two of Lucas's other movies. And although Tom Selleck almost won the part, Harrison was ultimately proven to be the best choice. He's charismatic, he's rugged, and his punches sound like a cartoon punch. Even though you could say Indiana is very similar to Han Solo, there's always this distinction between the two. You never think that you're just watching Han Solo in a different movie. Harrison Ford is probably the only actor to play two very iconic characters with very little differences between the two. Karen Allen plays Marion Ravenwood, who comes along with Indy on his adventure. Even though at times she falls into the damsel in distress cliche, she holds her own and is the strongest female character in this series. John Rhys Davies from Lord of the Rings is also enjoyable as Salah, a local guide and overall comic relief.
Asps. Very dangerous. You go first.
If there's anything weak about the movie, it might be the villain Belloc. Belloc. He's Indiana Jones's arch nemesis, but I never felt that competitive chemistry between the two. Maybe because they both don't share really long scenes together. Indiana spends most of his time fighting Nazis and goons, and that's what you really take away from it as far as a villain is concerned. That's really a minor complaint because, as an adventure popcorn movie, it's among the best of the best. It was an enormous success, and Indiana Jones has become an icon, one of the greatest movie heroes of all time. For kids that grew up in the 80s, and even for me who grew up in the 90s, Indiana Jones is a seminal movie figure, and Raiders is one of Spielberg's very best movies, and a seminal movie in film history.